Hey everyone, and welcome to today's explainer. So if you live in an area that regularly gets slammed by harsh, freezing winter weather, think the North Shore or the northwest suburbs of Chicago, you know exactly what I'm talking about when the temperature plummets and that heater kicks into overdrive. Today we're digging into some absolutely fantastic insights from HVAC and plumbing experts to understand exactly how a whole house humidifier protects your home in winter. We're going to break down the actual science of winter air and, more importantly, show you how to protect your most valuable investments.
So, we all know the feeling, right? You grab a door handle in mid-December and get that nasty, painful static shock, or you wake up with a scratchy throat the second late fall rolls around. We usually just kind of shrug and accept these tactile annoyances as the inevitable tax we pay for winter. But actually, they're symptoms of a very specific, invisible threat that we all face the moment cold weather sets in.
Okay, let's dive into this. The real culprit here, it's low indoor humidity. But here is the crazy twist. This condition is actively made worse during the winter by our own heating systems. This low humidity acts like a silent moisture thief, just sneaking through your rooms and causing some pretty serious structural stress on your house. And that's not even mentioning the physical discomfort for you and your family.
So here is our roadmap for today's explainer. Number 1, the winter moisture thief. 2, why homes dry out. 3, protecting floors and furniture. 4, static, dust, and health. And finally, 5, using humidifiers effectively.
Let's jump right into Section 1, the winter moisture thief, which is literally the invisible threat lurking in your home right now.
There's a really profound irony in how we heat our homes. When temps drop, our heating systems run around the clock to keep us nice and cozy. But in doing so, they're actively pulling moisture right out of the wood, the upholstery, and pretty much every other porous material in the house. The very appliance keeping you warm is essentially acting like a giant bone-dry sponge. It's aggressively stealing moisture from your home's interior. It's just continuous, hidden damage happening right under our noses.
Moving on to Section 2, why homes dry out and the actual physics behind winter air.
It all really comes down to this fascinating physical reality. On one side of the equation, we have cold outdoor air, which naturally holds very, very little moisture. On the other side, we have your heated indoor air. When your home draws that freezing dry air inside and your furnace heats it up, the air expands. But because the volume of the air gets bigger, while the actual water content stays exactly the same, your indoor relative humidity just absolutely plummets. It drops way, way below recommended comfort levels.
The science here is super clear. Warm air can hold more moisture than cold air. And because that warm air inside your home inherently wants to hold more moisture, but the cold air from outside didn't bring any to the party, well, the warm air goes looking for it. It literally sucks it right out of your home's physical structure. And that is what sets up the direct cause and effect relationship for all the costly damage that follows.
Which brings us to Section 3, protecting floors and furniture, or, as I like to call it, the hidden structural toll of winter.
Wood flooring and fine furniture are incredibly sensitive to these moisture changes. When the humidity gets too low, the wood actually dries out and contracts. You'll start to see noticeable gaps opening up right between your hardwood planks. You might even see the wood start cupping, or the literal cracking of the finish. And for your furniture, think dressers and cabinetry. You might notice the joints loosening up and beautiful wood veneers starting to dull. The thing you have to remember is that it's the repeated cycles of expansion and contraction, season after season, that rapidly accelerate this wear and tear on your expensive investments. So even things that don't visibly crack right away, they're still experiencing a ton of gradual, unseen stress.
Let's shift gears for Section 4, static, dust, and health. Because look, this isn't just about wood floors. This is about the human toll of living in super dry air.
Honestly, dry air just makes your daily life incredibly frustrating. It cranks up the static electricity, which makes your carpets and couches feel uniquely prickly, and it turns something as simple as a metal door handle into a painful shock hazard. But fascinatingly, it also changes how dust behaves in your house. While having good humidity doesn't mean you can stop vacuuming, sorry about that, dry conditions actually make dust way more prone to going airborne, and once it's airborne, it stubbornly clings to all your surfaces.
But the human toll definitely goes beyond just static and dust, right? It's really about the physical toll on your body. When you stabilize your home's humidity, it directly reduces dry skin, irritated eyes, and those awful scratchy throats we mentioned earlier. This is absolutely vital if anyone in your house deals with allergies or respiratory flare-ups. Maintaining that sweet spot of humidity totally transforms the space. It just makes the home feel way less harsh and so much more comfortable.
So stabilizing humidity isn't just about saving your floors, it's about turning your home into a true health sanctuary.
So, how do we actively engineer this kind of stable, comfortable environment? Let's move to our final section, Section 5. Using humidifiers effectively, the whole house solution.
There are a couple of ways people usually try to tackle this, and it really helps to compare them side by side. On one hand, you have portable units. Now, these can be incredibly inconsistent, especially if you have a larger home or a multi-level layout, mostly because they only treat small, isolated pockets of air. Whole house systems, on the other hand, are a total game changer. They're designed to address the root cause everywhere, all at once. They distribute moisture consistently right through your ductwork or via the home's water supply pathways. And it's that distributed approach that gives you true, even consistency across every single room.
Now, here is absolutely the most crucial point to take away today. The goal here is stabilization, not maximization. You don't want to just blindly blast moisture into the air. Actually, a lot of really well-meaning homeowners make exactly this mistake. Excess moisture is a huge problem. It causes condensation to pool on your windows, and it can even encourage hidden mold or mildew growth deep inside your walls. We're looking for a perfectly balanced middle ground here. Overhumidifying comes with a massive and very expensive set of its own problems.
So, to make sure you get it right, experts recommend a really practical setup process. First, always start by setting your humidity targets conservatively. Adjust them based on how cold it is outside to prevent that unwanted condensation. Second, rely heavily on your system's built-in control features, like a humidistat, to make absolutely sure you aren't overdoing it. Third, you've got a plan for airflow and ductwork needs so the moisture actually reaches every room evenly. Fourth, as you run the system, just do a quick visual check for condensation on your windows or walls. Use that as your reliable signal to dial in your settings. And finally, step 5, maintain the unit. Keep up with the filters, pads, or cleaning requirements for your specific model.
Which brings us to a final, provocative thought to wrap up today's explainer. Think about this. Is your home reacting to winter, or is it truly ready for it? Protecting those beautiful floors, your antique furniture, and most importantly, your family's health, all comes down to proactive consistency. Instead of waiting around to react after your dining table cracks or you wake up with a sore throat, a whole house humidifier lets you create a managed environment. It keeps your household materials and your own comfort wonderfully stable season after season. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and here is to a warmer, much more comfortable winter for you and your home.